Hey, what's up, people? So, this is the second episode of Workplace Politics 101. And in this video, I want to talk about race in the workplace because it's very important. It's, you know, it's a very, it's not talked about a lot because there's things you can't speak on in the workplace. But a lot of blue collar jobs are like federal prison. And who you associate with and who you talk to at the job is very important. A lot of the times it can determine if you have a job the next day or not. Me, particularly, everything I've been through, all the wake-up calls I've had, I tend to speak more to older black men that I know come from a different time. So older black men, I define anybody born before 1970, because at that time there were still fathers in the home. Around like the 1990s, it was very common for black men to be raised without fathers. But I can understand this is a different black man where there was a father in the home, or if it wasn't a father, there was an uncle or a grandfather or another male role model that had influence on this black man. Versus today, where a lot of women are raising black men, and that's a very bad combination. Just how the Boondocks said, when you have nigga moment, nigga synthesis is a complete disaster. Black man plus being raised by a single mother plus feminine energy equals a complete disaster also. I recommend on a lot of these low level, these low skill jobs, these factory jobs, restaurant jobs, jobs where you work outside in the sun and you smell like shit coming home, you need to learn how to work with other black people, learn how to trust one another, because in a lot of these jobs, and I'm just telling you based on experience, a lot of people are angry, a lot of people are mad at the world, a lot of people have regrets, they have children they don't want that they have anyway, and they waited too long to have an abortion, so they have these kids they got to take care of, or they're on child support, or they on something fucked up happened in their life where they're working this job, they're angry at the world, they're mad at everybody. You can see in their expression they don't want to be bothered with. Don't tell me for a second that they have all these feelings of anger and just despair of the world, and they just tell themselves, I just hate waking up every morning, doing this fucking working this job at this fucking lotion factory, and then later I got to work another job, at this hot dog stand at night. I don't know why they sell the hot dogs at night, but I don't know why I got to work this job at night. And they're mad at the world, they're mad at their wife, they're mad at their children because they took all their money. But they say to themselves, I don't look at somebody's skin color like, oh, that doesn't matter to me. I don't care if somebody's black. That's bullshit. People that are, I said this in my last video, people that are broke and poor and that are down to the last penny, they look at race. Race matters when you're broke and poor, because when you have money, you're happy. You want to give, you want to show off, you want to give to others because you have that ability to do so. This is why people that have money, they donate to bullshit, organizations that they know don't do anything, but they want to just show their money off. Would a person that works at McDonald's donate to Black Lives Matter? No, they wouldn't. Or would somebody that works at a gas station donate to Planned Parenthood? No, they will put that money in their in their own organization, their kids. They won't put that in nobody else. Race is very important in a lot of jobs, and me particularly, based on, this is just my opinion, I believe that based on the crime and things that sometimes black people do to white people, not all, but mostly a lot of white men really don't particularly care for black men like myself. I believe that I'm someone like myself is vulnerable to being thrown under the bus, because I'm not very trusting. But let's say that I hung out with, like, I didn't see race at the job. I did that before and I got screwed over. But let's say that I just did it again. It's a good potential that they would try to get me fired if I did something, like I messed something up and they didn't like it. If I said something about somebody and they took it out of context and told somebody, they would do something to get me fired faster based on something that happened to them from another black person. When they can't necessarily do something about it, do something that happened to them from that other black person, like if a white man got attacked or he got robbed or he got knocked out by a black dude, if he can't really do something to that black dude without other than filing charges, the next best thing is going to someone at your job, taking it out on them. And that's just when I say it's very important that we learn how to stick together like other groups of people do at these jobs, because a lot of people don't really care for us. And I'm telling you, it's based on some things we do to them. It's based on the culture. It's based on sometimes our women. And some people just don't like us based on how they were raised, but that's a very small percentage. But the main reason why a lot of people don't like us is some shit happened to them. They take it out on you. If you're don't be that one black dude at a job. I did that before and I learned from that shit. Don't be that, it was that guy, that African dude who was killed by his girlfriend. She was like an OnlyFans model. I think her parents went to jail. I don't know his name, but don't be like him. That's very fucking dangerous, because you put yourself in very vulnerable situations. People, they say shit that usually they wouldn't say when there's other black people around. But I really, really advise black men in these jobs, blue collar jobs, please learn how to stick together. You don't got to like everybody, but learn how to stick together, because one thing about us, we don't try to get each other fired most of the time. Not always, but for the majority of the time, if we have a problem with somebody, we're not going to try to get that person's job taken away. Now there may be some violence if you do something to somebody. Yeah, they may kick your ass after work, but they'll never. These are two things I learned about black men. They're not going to call the cops on you for the most part, and they're not going to try to get your job taken away, because you don't mess with a person's livelihood or in another person's freedom. Because people don't want to see, black men don't want to see other black men go to jail. But what I've learned from some, not all, but a lot of white people, so mostly white men, is telling authority is a thing, and getting people fired is a thing that I'm very cautious of now. This is why a lot of the times I stick to I don't talk to nobody at the job, but if I do, I tend to stick to my own, because of shit like that I just told you happens. And you just got to acknowledge it. Acknowledge the fact that things like that happen. People, when you have a hatred, when something happened to you from somebody else, you take it out on that person that's closest to you, that's next closest to you. You take it out on your coworker or a classmate or a neighbor. This is why a lot of the times I really think, you can look at my channel, I really think people should so I may do a part 2. I'm all over the place this video. Part 2.